Well, hello and welcome back. We are continuing our journey, as it were, from an old Apache Tomcat JSP application, updating it to Spring Boot, and walking through a few other things along the way. Just getting comfortable with Spring Boot, getting comfortable with Bootstrap 5, and also using Timeleaf, which is basically the core underlying sort of templating type thing that we use with, instead of JSP, that we use with Spring Boot. Last time around, we were playing around with this, basically with trying to get an index into a list that we sent in, so that when we save it, that it would show properly here. So that, because this one, we're just like jumping into a value. We're going into that value and we're saying, hey, let's see what it resolves to, because it's an ID versus a string. And we were running into a few issues with it, and it was basically because of doing this math. Now, what we've got is this list. So if you go back to this page and look at this list, where it's difficulty, it's just saying, hey, I want the text that is from the list, the difficulty list, and I want to get the one that is my value, which is task.difficulty. That's going to be my integer. I'm just going to subtract 1 from it, and then I'm going to get the name of that. And we had a couple little issues with it. I think it was because we were not doing this properly within the parentheses. But now, so you can see, just to see how it looks, is I've got my list. I'm just going to do a get out of it, and I'm going to get it based on the index, which here you can see bracketed by parentheses. Subtract 1 from it because it's a 0 versus it's like a zero indexed array kind of thing. And then I'm going to get the name. And so now if we do it, if I go to here, like this one that was simple, I'm going to set it to average, save it, and boom, I've got my, I shouldn't click on that because that's clickable, but so now it is displaying properly. Now, just carrying forward, we want to do sort of the same thing. So we've got our tasks now. We can create a new task, we can cancel, we can save. Don't know if we got our our delete. So if we do delete, it is not deleting. So let's go look at our delete real quick and see why that's not working. And it looks like project ID is not readable or has an invalid one. So we probably don't have here. Oh, here we go. So select task. Let's see. We may not be building our link properly. Let's see. I think, well, let's go look at our, so if we come in here, it's going to do select task. Oops, that's select. If we do delete, that's in here. This is going to be from the task itself. So we're going to go look to our task form. So we're going to come over here and we're going to go to our, let's go find our template for our task. There's our task form. And if we look up here, let's see, let's go look for delete. So delete is just going to do delete task, and then it's going to give it an ID. And I think what we're going to find here is if we go look at our delete for, it's probably not in here, it's probably in our other controller. Let's see, we had hello controller, and we had, what was our other controller? We called it task controller. There we go. And so if we go look for delete here, I bet we had here, it's an ID. Task.get project ID. So what's it complaining about? Let's close that. It says it's not readable. Okay. So let's go look here at our task DAO. So we get a task, we look at our regular task model. Let's make sure we've got that right and we don't have some sort of, which we probably would get an issue. So if we look here, project ID, yep, project ID. And it's complaining that, what was it again? It's not readable or it has an invalid getter. Does it turn them up? Okay, so let's go look at get project ID. So that should be okay. So if we do get project ID, returns a project ID. Oh, it's probably because it's not. Where did I put that? It's probably the wrong one. Oh yeah, for some reason get does not have a this dot. Wow, we've got that in a couple of these. So that's a nice little bug that we found there, is that for some reason we've got some of these that do not have. I'm not sure why we suddenly got this, but let's just do it like this. We have got a whole bunch of these that came across and did not use this, so they're actually just returning a local variable instead. Let's see, this, there's description, this name. So that could cause us all sorts of little fun issues. So let's make sure we properly adjust that out. I think we're going to be okay in several of these because it's going to do it by default. But just to be safe, let's make sure that if we do that, now if we run it, we should be able to, we got to reset, log in. Let's pick one that has a task. There we go. So let's take this task and let's try to delete it. And it still didn't delete it, so let's see what it says now. Oh, so now it came through, so let's go see why maybe it didn't. This is going to be in our task controller. It's going to go in and do a delete, so let's go look at the task DAO and see why it might not have deleted. And where did we put our model? Blah, blah. Mapper, it's up here somewhere, right? There it is. Let's go take a look at our task DAO. If we look at delete, so that's where task ID equals that. Let's just do, we're just going to keep it simple here. And we're going to do this. So we're going to print the SQL. And we're going to do the ID. Whoop, except for we can't use a PP print. We're just going to do a regular print. Whoop. And let's make sure, what else did we want to look? Oh, let's make sure we're sending the task ID across from the controller. And we just come and we do it. Yep, and then we're going to go do that edit, get project ID. So let's see what that does for us. So we're going to run this, and we're going to jump over here. We're going to reset, and we're going to go up here. We're going to try to delete, and let's see what it does in the output. Oh, it does nothing. Interesting. So we may have delete task in. Let's see if we have that in 2 places. So we have it there. Did we have it in the hello controller as well? Where did my hello controller? We have a delete opportunity. So we have delete op. Interesting. So let's go look at task. Well, not task form. And if we go look at delete, where's delete? There it is, delete task. Let's make sure we've got the right ID for our delete task. So if we inspect that element, let's make sure we're getting our values across properly. Delete task 23. So now if we do that, we delete task 23. It worked. So we're not getting, we weren't building it right somehow. Let's go look back at that. Let's go look at should... Interestingly enough, it's not going there. Let's see. Let's go look at ours a little bit. I wonder if it's on click. Let's do, we can't do that. Let's go look at that again. And let's go fix our link. And so we can run it. Let's get, well, let's keep a look at what we were building here. Let's see, oh, we can just, yeah, pick one. So it's going to come in and he's going to do location.href. We may have to, okay, so it's not sending it, interestingly enough. It is having an issue. I don't know what it's doing. Delete. Oh, because it's a button. That's the problem. Is it's treating it as a submit. One of those fun little things. Because we're in a form, it's going to see that button and it's going to try to send it through submit instead. So if we come through here and instead just change it to a div, everything else is the same. It's on click. Yep, that all works. So now we should be able to come in here, log in, pick one, and delete that. And now we're there. So there we go. That's one of those fun little things with a form, is that if you've got a button, an actual button, as opposed to something else, it's going to try to send that through to the submit. And so that's the process that we had broken. So we have our tasks now working. We can do everything with that. Let's take a look at our overhead. Now, if we immediately go in, we've got an issue here with the new overhead. So let's go take a look at, let's make sure first. Look at that. Is that some weird? No, he's probably okay. So let's go look at that page. Actually, we probably have, yep, there we go. And we've got project ID of being class. It's not readable. Oh, so we may have this also, that this issue that we had, may have in the overhead. So let's go look at our overhead real quick. And yep, there we go. We've got a bunch of these. So let's just walk through this. Let's see, return this, return this, return this. Could be one of those things that this is because we were working on an earlier version of Java. It was not so picky about the thises and figuring out scope. So let's go look at this real quick and see if that fixed it to get us to creating a new opportunity. Or I'm sorry, overhead. Okay, so we still get an error. Let's see if it's the same thing. Did we get it somewhere else? Now it is complete. Yep, project ID is not readable. It's probably untimely if it thinks. So let's see if it tells us where it did that. So it's probably in the form itself. Overhead form 43. So let's go look at our overhead form. That's going to be over here, line 43. Maybe we haven't converted everything yet. Could be. 43 here, field is that. So project ID we don't have sitting there maybe. So let's go look at our task controller for our new overhead. And we have here project ID. load overhead form, project ID. So if we go to load overhead form, oh, we don't have a project ID. We have a user ID, but we don't have just a straight project ID. Oh, do we, let's see, let's go look at our overhead form. Do we instead want that to be, I think we want that to be, let's say if that's that, let's see if we make it path. I think that's what we really wanted that to be anyways. Let's try that before we change this all up, because I think that's what we wanted, is we wanted to bring it, we didn't want to send it separate, we wanted to bring it out of the controller itself. So if we do path, we're going to pull it off of that, the object that we're working with. If we don't, like we did before, if we have a field, then it's going to be looking for something that we have sent, like a specific value we have sent in. Let's see if we got something different. Valid property, project ID. Okay. Same thing. So let's go look here. If we go look at, we want to look at, oh, because I didn't save. That makes a difference. Let's see. So there we go. So we've got our type. That should be our path. And it is a, I think, what we want is, do we want our, let's go back, look at our task real quick. Task form. Its path, did we need our, here we're using value, but we can go here. Oh, no, we are still using, I'm sorry, path is the old one. My mistake. So we can do th field with a star. So if we come to our overhead, that's the problem when we mix a few things. So if this is th field star, that should work. Let's see, that's going to be a value and a field. All right, so we should be good. Is that right? That should be right. And then we'll have to see, just make sure we've got case correct. Because if we do that, overhead in the model, if we look there, let's see, look at it. So get, we may need the capital, I think we probably need this to be a capital I. Let's try that real quick. I think that's it. I think it's a case sensitivity issue there. Let's reset. Let's get going. Let's go here. Let's go here. We've got an error. If it's not that, then it is. Okay, so type. So now we've got to go in here. We've probably got type somewhere. Type th field. So type is not readable or has an invalid getter. So for overhead, let's go look at type. We have set type. We have, oh, it's get type ID. Okay, so we need to go back over here. This is going to be type ID. I wonder if difficulty is the same. Yep, difficulty is the same. And so now let's try it. Let's line up our values properly. And now, let's see if we can at least get our form up. And there we go. So now we're getting into it. So it's probably a good space to pause for now. We're going to come in next episode and we're going to go ahead and just follow through, hooking up our buttons again, sort of reinforce some of these things. I wonder if we're going to have the same issue with casting these values. And we're just going to keep chugging along. If you have any questions, shoot us an email at info@developreneur.com and go out there and have yourself a great day, a great week. And we will talk to you next time.